Hi, I'm Hazel Amado and I'm going to discuss types of scoring. So, what is scoring assessment? So, scoring guides assign points to different levels of student performance. Teachers use them when a student response can earn some of the total possible points, typically or constructed response items and performance tasks. This helps the students to have a better understanding how their interactions in the classroom affect students' learning. So, the types of scoring. So, first is checklist. Checklists are assessment tools that set out specific criteria which educators and students may use to gauge skill development or progress. Checklists may be used with students from kindergarten to grade 12 and for every subject. So here's the example of checklist. We have name, then opinion, the many faces of genius. So we have no, sometimes, and yes to be checked. So first is the paragraph starts with a topic sentence that states an opinion. Next is the paragraph includes adequate details supporting the opinion. Next is the paragraph ends with a concluding sentence that states the opinion in different words. Next is linking words are used to show how the ideas connect. Next is all of the sentences have a subject and a verb. So lastly is most words are spelled correctly. So we can have comments below in this checklist. So next example of checklist is risk assessment checklist. So we have pin, project, region, description, engineer state, and estimated duration of days. So we have click in the appropriate box to select yes or no. Explain responses if necessary in the space below each question. So number 1, will hauling or heavy equipment to expected access the project from non-state routes. 2. Will there be any school zones or school traffic within the project limits? 3. Will there be restricted or closed sidewalks or trails? 4. Are there any major intersections within the project limits? 5. Will the tour be required to control traffic? 6. Will the use of movable concrete barrier be allowed for traffic control? 7. Do you anticipate flaggers be needed for traffic control? 8. Do you anticipate emergency shoulders and pull-outs will be designed into the traffic control plans? 9. Will there be a high potential for property damage due to loose materials or overspray? 10. Will there be any work required above the traffic such as falling debris from slopes, bridge work, crane work, and etc.? So that's the examples of checklists. So next is rating scales. Rating scale states the criteria and provide 3 or 4 response selections to describe the quality or frequency of student work. Teachers can use rating scales to record observations and students can use them as self-assessment tools. So here's the example of rating scale for school climate. Please indicate your feelings about the climate in your school by circling the letter corresponding to your choice. A is for strongly agree, B agree, C. Neither agree nor disagree. D. Disagree. E. Strongly disagree. So 1 is my child is safe while at school. 2. I feel welcome at my child's school. 3. A student discipline rules are enforced consistently. So here's another example of rating scale. How important are the following issues for you personally? Circle the number that best represents your opinion on a scale from 1 extremely unimportant to 10 extremely important. So, protection of endangered species. Next is improving air quality. Next, creating renewable energy sources. Next, improving water quality. Then the last one is reducing the use of nuclear power. So the next type of scoring is rubrics. A rubric is typically an evaluation tool or set of guidelines used to promote the consistent application of learning expectations, learning objectives, or learning standards in the classroom, or to measure their attainment against a consistent set of criteria. So we have two types of rubrics, the holistic rubric and the analytic rubric. So holistic rubric is a single criterion rubric, one-dimensional, used to assess participants' overall achievement on an activity or item based on predefined achievement levels. So here's the example of holistic rubric. Breakfast in bed. So the first column is score and the second column is description. So all food is perfectly cooked, presentation surpasses expectations, and recipient is kept exceptionally comfortable through the meal. So the score is 4. Food is cooked correctly, the meal is presented in a clean and well-organized manner, and the recipient is kept comfortable throughout the meal. So the score is 3. Some food is cooked poorly. Some aspects of presentation are sloppy or unclean, or the recipient is uncomfortable at times. So the score is 2. Most of the food is cooked poorly, the presentation is sloppy or unclean, and the recipient is uncomfortable most of the time. So the score is 1. And then the analytic rubric. So analytic rubric is a two-dimensional rubric with levels of achievement as columns and assessment criteria as rows. So here's the example of analytic rubric breakfast in bed. So food in the beginning or 1, most food is colder or warmer than it should be, is under or over seasoned, or is under or overcooked. In developing or 2, some food is colder or warmer than it should be, is under or over seasoned, or is under or overcooked. In accomplished or 3, all food is at the correct temperature, adequate seasoned and cooked to the eater's preference. In exemplary or 4, all food is perfectly cooked and seasoned to the eater's preference. Additional condiments are offered. So, presentation in the beginning or 1, more than one item, tray, napkin, or silverware are dirty or missing. Developing or 2, tray, napkin, or silverware may be dirty or missing. Accomplished or 3, food is served on a clean tray with napkin and silverware. Some decorative additions may be present. Exemplary or 4, food is served on a clean tray with napkin and silverware. Several decorative touches are added. So in comfort, beginning or 1, wake up is abrupt, little to no help with eating, and the recipient is rushed and crowded during the meal. Developing or to wake up is somewhat abrupt. A recipient may struggle with seat adjustment, or there may be some rushes or crowding during eating. Accomplished or 3, recipient is woken gently, assisted in seat adjustment, and given reasonable time and space to eat. Exemplary or 4, recipient is woken gently and lovingly, assisted until sitting is just right, and given abundant time and space to eat. So that ends to my discussion, and I hope you learned something.